fans, Richard Raw banner followers, I finally caught up with the main man, the CEO of the Brisbane Roar, Mr. Chris Fong. How are you, sir?
Good, Richard.
Thank
Good
you
to see
so
you.
much. Thank you
Welcome.
so much for your time. We had a brief conversation yesterday and just talking about stuff when it comes to the Brisbane Roar, APL, all that type of stuff. And I said to you, can I catch up with you? And most graciously, you said you would. But I'm really hoping that today's discussion will open some understanding to why things have happened with the APL, things have happened with the Brisbane Roar, and you being the big boss, the big man, and all the stuff that goes along with making sure that the Brisbane Roar are out on the field with all their teams week after week after week with the club functioning, whether it comes to finances or corporate or just getting out there in the real world and playing football week after week. It's on your shoulders, and I know in recent times there's been some heavy decisions have to be made. And so firstly, I want to just go back this week. We've had a major issue, well, not a major issue, but a major development when it comes to New South Wales and APL awarding New South Wales the grand final series, estimated $10 million over 3 years, funding and money that obviously APL needs, the clubs need. And obviously there's been some backlash from Brisbane Roar fans, there's been some backlash with supporter groups all over Australia. But I wanted to catch up with you because I've heard you and I understand where you're coming from now and what it's all about. But I just wanted you to share with me and share with my followers on Richard Raw Banner some of the things that you've had to understand yourself and go through when it comes to the APL and the decision to do with the Brisbane Roar being a part of this grand final decision and voting in that way. Chris, can you take us through maybe just a bit of what's been going on the last week just for you and what you've been understanding doing?
Well, thanks, Richard. Look, it was, and I've come out and there was some emails published, and I think there's been a little bit of misunderstanding on what I actually said, but let's clarify it. Look, I was surprised at the announcement at the time, from a Brisbane Roar perspective. I wasn't surprised on what was delivered because I knew about this for a long time.
Sure.
But I wasn't aware that we were announcing it at that time. Particularly, we were all meeting that week in Melbourne for the first time in a number of years. So look, and so I expressed that in an email to a fan and said, look, you know, it took me by surprise. So that was it. But it wasn't. I did not know about the move to Sydney. The move to Sydney, we all supported. And when I say all, it was APL. It was an APL initiative. It was, and Danny and the team explained to us and the board on why they wanted to do that and why they put it forward to the board. And we all supported it. And for very good reasons. And it's economics in the league. Sure. And if we didn't do this, we would effectively, in each club, it would be costing them around $1 million for the next 3 years that they need to find. And that's just the state of where the league is today and where we're going through COVID and the difficulties in hitting targets and meeting overheads and the losses we incurred, and we need to recover that. And it's not just us, it's our partners, Paramount. It's the separation model that we took on. And so there was a lot of economic pressures on the league and clubs to sort of keep treading water. And so we were very excited the fact that it was change. It was change that we, and I was in particular and was concerned about the change. I wasn't that happy about it, but I accepted it that we needed to do it. So that's why I supported the move. I knew that tradition was being broken, but I also at the same time felt that we're in a new era of football and we need to change our thinking a little bit. And when we talk about tradition, we're not talking about a long tradition. And I think for us to survive and the way forward in football in Australia, and I'm only one, and there's different views, and you always have different views, but is that there needs to be a lot of changes. You talk about grand finals, and I talk to my friends in Europe, and they why do you play all season and you win? You finish the top and you're the premiers, and it's not important. Actually, you can finish. You can finish mid-tier and win the grand final, and you're the champions. And is that fair?
Yeah.
And so I think that thinking in itself needs to be looked at,
Definitely.
and a bit of adjustment. But you can't do that overnight.
Yeah.
And I think what APL management are doing is kind of reset some thinking out there.
Yep.
But also for good reasons, economic reasons for survival. So that's probably one of the main reasons why I supported it.
Yep.
And I still support it, and I haven't backed down on this, and I believe it has to happen. But at the same time, it was difficult, and APL have come out and look, it was difficult, and the way it was promoted and the way it was announced took everybody by surprise, and including myself.
Yeah.
But I've now found out why it happened that way, and I completely understand. And we had our hands tied, and it was a requirement from the partner on how we did this, and they dictated it, and I can understand why. So there was a lack of transparency with our fans and some of the clubs, and that's why. But at the end of the day, the greater good is for the league and the game, and so that's really the reasoning behind where we got to last week. I'm not talking about what happened with Derby. That is disgraceful. But and I feel that this somehow inside I feel this would never happen in Queensland and Brisbane. And I'm relieved to have that feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
But I understand our fans, in particular active supporters, that they don't like change. Yeah. But they need to trust, and it's hard to trust, and particularly there's a lot of historical issues. But look, we're in this because we love it too, and there's a lot of money that goes into this business. Yeah. It doesn't come back.
No.
And so and that was one of the reasons why we supported separation from what was the FFA. Yeah. And we wanted independence. We wanted control of it. But we also accepted a governance model that we're going through. So you remember, APL is it's not even 2 years old. Yeah, true. It's a new business. Yeah. And we're going to go through a few steps, and we will go, look, we need to adjust that and step back a bit and take another direction. But right now we've got a board, and that board is, and I know the fans are upset now, they realise that the board is controlled by clubs. Well, that's a temporary measure, and it's always been a temporary measure. FA now has a representative on it. The investor Silver Lake, who are a fantastic partner with a long-term view, are on board, and they have a representative and an observer on the board. And there is a process that is widely known that there will be more independents coming on board. In fact, there will be an independent chairman, and we are going through that process right now. And so I think the governance standards and that was part of the separation agreement with the FA was we would hit these milestones as part of where we reach, and we're going that way. So I can tell you now, if we didn't have those 5 members from the club representing the board today, we wouldn't have a league today, because we've and some of us more than others have been able to dig deep and use resources to actually make sure we survive through this difficult 18 months we've been through. So if that didn't happen, if we didn't have owners and clubs involved in getting to where we are now, I don't think we'd have a league league that you see today. In fact, it would have got to a point where we would have probably had to stop, and the FA would have probably had to step in. But of course, what we've done and what some of us have done on the board, they've kept the game flowing, and we need to continually go through this transition period. It won't be overnight, but look, going back to Sydney, there's got to be more announcements. I'm expecting more announcements, and so once you sit back and look at that, and probably 6 months from now, hopefully, there will be going, oh well, actually it has worked, and actually I'm now behind it, and actually the model is changing a little bit. Maybe we should be paying more attention to the premiers, and maybe we should be focusing on not the last few games of the season, but actually the whole season. And we have the shortest season in any league. And in our sport, globally, people look at it and go, our off season is ridiculous. So but we still pay everybody, and we're paying them to train. We want them to play. So expansion is a big part of the future vision. And with goes expansion goes more games, and we need and the metrics go up. And we need to ensure those metrics are all metrics in our game are increasing as we grow. Otherwise, we're going to keep on funding it out of our pockets.
Mate, thank you for that. I really wanted to hear that, and I'm sure the fans did too. I appreciate that. Can you share just a little bit though? I'm hearing all sorts of stuff about Brendale. I'm hearing all stuff about the girls are now at QSAC. The boys are now back in Brisbane training. Some exciting stuff. Because I know you've only just you've been a part of the board for quite a few seasons now. And I've bumped into you all over Australia. I think I've bumped into you in Perth, I've bumped into you in Townsville. Quick conversations. But I'm just hearing your heart and your understanding now. You're the CEO, currently the CEO. Are there some little snippets you can give off the exciting news that's coming up in the next 12 months?
Look, there's a lot. So I've come out and announced we're moving back to Brisbane. And we will announce details in the early next year, first quarter, on where that will be and how that will be. But and that's what I'm focusing on.
Good.
And once we're ready to announce it, there's been work going on for the last couple of years, actually. Getting to where we are today. So we don't want to spoil it because we're not quite there yet. But we know we need to be back in Brisbane. We are Brisbane Roar. So Brisbane will be our home. But in terms of Brendale, that's very exciting for us. So we've been transient for quite some time.
Quite a few years.
Rightly or wrongly, for whatever reason, it's a fantastic facility. It's 30 minutes north from Brisbane. We had a straight road, it'd probably be
20 minutes, 10
minutes. But it's a fantastic precinct. It's very sport centric. It's up high. It's public money, so Morton Bay Council has initiated this with us. It's also federal government funding, so it's public money. It's a lot of money. It's over $20 million that's going into this facility, and it has our name on it. It's ours. We have a facility that we've been involved in the design of this.
Oh, great!
So this goes back a few years now. We were from day one. Day one, we were meeting and discussing what we wanted and how we wanted that to look, and the council's just been amazing. And they've been delayed because of COVID and the rains that are associated with that. We wanted to be ready. The plan was to be ready in February. Just gone. It's been delayed. So the middle of next year we'll be ready. Ready. They say the World Cup. So so the building is. It's been topped off, the roof's on. It's effectively a 60-metre long building.
Oh wow!
With everything you can imagine in it. In fact, we've got a meeting this afternoon on what we're putting inside it. So that's very positive. Playing fields around it that are ours. It's going to have an EPL look to it. We have high fencing, black fencing, with secure areas, secure parking for the players and staff, canteen, meeting rooms, hangout rooms. Because the players will go there and spend probably most of the time there. So it's exciting. Fans will come up, and we'll see. It's specifically designed for the women and the youth, but all our teams, including the men, will be based out there. We do want to have a secondary facility in the heart of Brisbane, which we have today. We've moved out of the Gold Coast. The Gold Coast was always a temporary solution, and COVID, was that handled that change. So we're in Brisbane. We're getting feels for the place. When you deal with a partner, you need time to sort of settle. So we're doing that at the moment. Getting things like pitch right. And that's when you're dealing with the only professional team in Queensland they're fussy.
Yes,
We're
I've
fussy.
heard that. I heard our men are pretty fussy when it comes to
You
football
look at the
fields.
standard of the
Yeah.
pitch and you go, some people think it's great and it's up to standard, and we look at it and go,
I've
no,
heard
we've got
that.
tests for that, no,
Yeah.
it's not right, and there
Okay.
needs to be more time and
Sure.
investment put into it. And
Sure.
so we're going through those hoops,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's not an easy process for some people to understand.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but we're trying to do the best, and we want to do the best to and project that in what a professional team should look like, being the only team in Queensland.
Exactly.
So that's effectively where we are. Brindale will be our home. It will have all our branding over it.
Yep.
We will have fan days out there, but we will also have fan days in Brisbane
Sure.
at a location. In fact, where we are today is going to be an event place because we're partnering with the operators of Brisbane Ballet, and
Wow.
and this is a new venue in West End.
Yeah.
So we're looking at doing raw and business events here,
Yeah,
right
good.
in this location.
Very
as
nice.
well.
Very nice.
So there's a lot of initiatives that we've got in plan. We have in our strategy, and we want to plan out for the next year or so.
I'll finish with this. If you're going to have a message for our members and our fans, this Friday night, obviously, we've heard some walkout situations with some of our active supporters. But if you're having a message for our fans and our members, what would it be for Kieran right now?
Well, we're with you. We understand.
Yeah.
It's just we got to this position, and it was unavoidable.
Yeah, sure.
But you need to understand we needed to do this.
Yeah.
I haven't swayed from this. I didn't like it,
Yes.
but I had no choice,
Yeah.
and so I'm supporting it, and I'll continue to support it. And I want our fans to understand that. And really, I respect them wanting to protest.
Yeah.
But please do it in an orderly manner.
Yeah, sure.
Don't break the law.
Yeah,
Don't put anybody's safety in
Yes,
danger.
definitely.
But do it peacefully and as
Yeah.
loud as you want to do it.
Yes.
But just keep public order together.
Yeah.
We don't want to send a bad reputation what we've already seen happen down south. And I don't think this will happen. And it's a different topic. But also at the same time, we need to better engage with our fans. And Brisbane itself, let alone forget the APL for a minute, Brisbane itself, we are doing that, and we're working towards that, and we've come out with that the last few months, that we are working to engage on a higher level with our supporters. But we need you.
Yeah.
And walking out is one thing, but you know what? Actually, it impacts all of us, particularly the players.
Yeah.
And so I just say, look, when you think you're walking out, go ahead. I'm not stopping you. I'm not going to criticise you, but just remember, long-term wise, the impact, what it is on the game, it needs to be considered.
Yeah.
And I can leave it there.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Chris, thank you so much. Raw fans, you've heard from the boss. He's given some explanation to what's been going on APL. Be there this Friday night, support our team. Whatever you choose to do, it's like Chris said, it's about the players, about the football club. Let's be there. Till next time, Richard Raw, Richard Raw Banner TV.